What's up? This is Elia Einhorn. Welcome back to the Talkhouse podcast. Today I'm joined by
Nick Dawson, Editor-in-Chief of Talkhouse Film. And boy, do we have an incredible talk today.
We most certainly do. Abbi Jacobson
of Broad City.
And the absolutely fucking hilarious Samantha Irby.
Creator of the blog Bitches Gotta Eat.
Love
the
it.
book We Are Never Meeting in Real Life. And of course, Meaty, which was just republished in a new edition, which is why this talk happened. So tell us a little bit about how you brought this magical conversation to the Talkhouse.
Very happy to. My favorite bookstore in Brooklyn is called Books Are Magic. It's in Cobble Hill on Smith Street, and it was founded by New York Times bestselling author Emma Straub and her husband Michael Fusco Straub, who, parenthetically, has designed a number of the iconic Magnetic Fields record sleeves.
Awesome. Love that band.
Books Are Magic has just celebrated 1 year of existence this month. Big congratulations.
Happy birthday to you.
And I follow them on Instagram. One day I saw that they were bringing Abbi Jacobson and Samantha Irby together, and I got on the horn and said, listen, we have got to release this as a Talkhouse podcast episode. This is too good to just happen in the space and not be heard by the greater world. Thankfully, Nick, everyone involved agreed.
And thank God, because it's a fucking hilarious talk.
It really is. I, of course, bought a copy of Meaty for myself right after the talk was over. And Nick, that book really encapsulates a lot of what Sam Irby is about. There are the most personal details revealed about dating,
body image,
eating,
poop jokes.
Poop jokes. Yes, there are a lot of poop jokes. Sam has Crohn's disease and somehow makes it both poignant and hilarious.
And that's kind of the key to who she is. She writes with such vulnerability, but makes it unbelievably funny.
And relatable.
And relatable.
But Nick, this talk does not just dwell on poop jokes.
Not just.
We also hear about the fantastic and absolutely charming way in which the two met originally.
Over email. It was a courtship for the ages.
A bit of a Gmail stalk.
Yes. And of course, what it led to was not just this conversation, but the upcoming TV show that Sam and Abbi are working on.
Forthcoming on FX, and it is based on Meaty. We get to hear a lot of fun details about that show. And Nick, I thought it was very powerful to hear Sam talk about exactly who she wants portrayed.
Yeah, the underrepresented, the people you don't usually see on TV. And she talked about not just those people on screen, but also the people working behind the camera, having people who don't usually get hired, who are not usually writers, who are not usually directors on shows like this, or on any show, getting to get paid.
It's not a conversation we hear enough.
No, very true.
The two also chop it up about being avid phone talkers.
Yeah, kicking it old school is pretty cool sometimes. They also touch on the particular way that they write essays. Sam has a very interesting method. And of course, Abbi has a book of essays coming out in the near future.
Very excited for that. We also get to hear Sam's dream of putting diarrhea on TV.
It's everybody's dream, isn't it?
See, we're back to poop jokes,
I
Nick.
think so. Okay. And of course, her planned Emmy revenge. Got to stay tuned for that one.
Should we roll it?
Let's roll that tape.
Oh, man. This is a very high stool.
It is high. I'm gonna perch because it's more flattering.
Let's we're gonna lean.
Yeah, I like lean. It feels friendlier to lean.
It's like
very
this,
nice.
and then it's also this.
Yeah,
You guys are just getting like all ass. It's just ass.
I mean, it's my brand. I think.
Me too. This is cool. I'm not great at this, so we're gonna see how it goes. Mm-hmm. But Sam, thank you for asking me to do this.
You're well. I mean, I don't think it would be this full if it was just me.
Yes, it would. No, are you fucking kidding me?
I wasn't fishing. Thank
you know it would.
Stop it.
I'm your biggest fucking fan.
Stop.
No, I'm here to not stop. Okay.
Can you ask me some serious questions, please?
Oh, they're coming.
About my process, maybe. Or...
You said that because I told you I was going to ask you that shit. Okay. I'm going to start off because Sam and I know each other very well. Let's talk about how we met. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so just to give you guys like how we met. So Janine Garofalo came on Broad City to do a role season 1. And weirdly to thank us, which was like, why are you thanking us? You're doing our show. You're like, she gave me and Alana the original Meaty. And I was like, oh my God, Janine Garofalo gave me a book. And I went home and read it immediately. And I was like, this was in 2013. And I was like, who the fuck is this person? And I hadn't seen it. It was like in kind of like the employee pics, like people kind of it was a secret. And I kept it secret. I didn't tell anyone how good it was on purpose. I was like, holy fuck, who the fuck is this bitch? It's so funny. You guys know that Sam is laugh out loud funny, unlike anyone else. And I kept it a secret because I never wanted, I had never thought I would want to make a show with someone else's idea. But I read this book and I was like, this has to be a TV show. And I emailed Sam. I found her online through her blog, and I emailed her and I was like, hey dude, so vaguely, right? I didn't say anything.
So I get this email that's from a regular person's Gmail. So I didn't think it could be from a celebrity. And I was like, celebrities don't have Gmails. And so I get this email that's very cool. It's hey, I read your book. If you're ever in New York, I want to have coffee and talk to you.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Yeah. I just want to have coffee and talk to you. So
I was I have an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 8 months later, I wrote back. And it was oh, sure, yeah. If I'm ever in New York, we'll get a coffee. And then I was
you wrote something about green juice. You're coffee or green juice. And I was like,
because I thought that was a real New York thing to say. Because I'm from the Midwest where we just eat potatoes for every meal. So I was we could get a green juice if I'm ever in New York. And then sent it and was I'm never going to hear back from that person.
And then I was okay, I'll be more specific. And she basically made me be hey, my name is Abbi. I have this show. I want to pitch you an idea about working together. And then I went to Chicago and made you take me to your favorite breakfast place.
Yes. I made her come to Chicago. I was if you're really on TV, see you in the Delta terminal, because I'm not coming to New York. You can come to me.
So I did. I fucking did. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had breakfast and it was great. And she talked to me about doing a TV show. And the first thing I said was do I have to be on it? And she was no. And I was great, I'm in, let's do it.
Yeah,
and
you
that
don't
was
have
it.
to be on it.
So it took a year for us to get together.
Yeah.
But then when we did,
a little bit more than a year.
It was. I really don't believe shit until shit happens.
Listen, I also sometimes the longer things go on, the better they are. The longer they take.
Playing hard to get works. Apply that to every part of your life.
I get
Play
it.
hard to get.
Yeah.
And someone will give you a TV show.
So fun for me as well on that side.
I'm sure you were the book wasn't that fucking funny.
I was in 6 months it won't be fucking funny at all.
Worst book you're on Goodreads. Fuck this book. So.
Yeah, so then we've been working on the show version of Meaty for a while.
Yeah.
But we're still working on it. It's gonna be a fucking show. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I will not be on it. but it's gonna be.
I'm gonna make you
funny.
do like all these little cameos. You'll like be watching Sam. Real Sam will be like walking in the back. You have to run through.
We're gonna put diarrhea on TV, which
Yep.
is it wasn't my dream before, but it's totally my dream now. Like, we wrote a lot of diarrhea into the script, which was the most important thing for me. And it's gonna be great, and you all better fucking watch it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, so I made a little list.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we talked for like Sam and I are phone talkers. I don't know if you guys. No one like talks on the phone. No. We talk on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of other people that I talk to on the phone for as long as we talk.
I love talking on the phone.
Yeah,
That's like
you're
my
good.
secret shame. But that's not like a thing that makes you cool now. Like, if you call somebody, people like throw their phone across the room and are like,
They're like,
what
is this? Yeah.
No. So when I meet another phone person, I'm like, you actually like talking on the phone?
I like that.
Great.
Yeah.
So we talked on the phone to prepare for this.
Yeah, we're highly prepared.
And
very
you're going to
prepared.
see that we did absolutely no preparation in all that time we were on the phone.
Okay, so my biggest question in this new edition, because I'm so familiar with the old edition, and you mentioned this on the phone a little. Can you talk about what it's like? This was 2013 when this was the first version, right? Mm-hmm.
So I wrote it in like 2012.
And I know the whole backstory with those dudes, and it was like no editor, right? And they And so so when you went back in, what did you're reading it fresh. Were you like, who is this? Like, what did you feel about that version of yourself?
Okay. So I don't want to taint anyone's experience.
Taint.
Who
I
hasn't.
hate myself. I'm like literally living in my Sorry. I said one glass of wine.
I don't want to ruin this for anyone who hasn't read it yet, but I'm going to. So it was mortifying for me because I don't really talk like that anymore. I don't really say a lot of the word motherfucker is in it like 2,000 times. And I was like, who wrote that? Like, I was there, and there are so many like little catchphrases and stuff that I don't use that feel like relics from past me. And the most crushing part of this experience, this is my editor sitting right up front, she was like, well, you can't change the things that embarrass you. And I was like, what's the point of doing this thing? I can't like make it better. And she was like, well, we don't want to we have to preserve the tone. Like, we're going to put periods and commas where there were none, but you can't make yourself sound smarter or better. You can't use a thesaurus, which you clearly didn't use last time. So the whole, I read the first pass, and the whole time I was like, this is really fucking embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. Also, there's a lot of mining of my, heartbreak in it, and, reliving some of that. Having a time capsule of your worst self preserved for the world. It's one thing for you to read it. It's another thing for me to reread it. And so that was and I was just like, okay, people will understand that there's been growth. Although it's not like I wrote it when I was 17. I was fucking 31, man.
Yeah, but
I wasn't I wasn't like a babe. It's not like my high school journal. I was like, oh man, what a mess. But I guess in the spirit of what I try to do, which is be as honest as possible, I can't say that that's my goal and then fix all the bad stuff. So it's there. But when you read it, work with me. Just be like, work in progress.
Yeah, but could you read it? I mean, this is the book I read and I fell in love with you. A lot of people did. So, like, this book, like, kind of changed your whole life. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't mean me. I
But the
mean,
new,
like,
but the new one. So I had
mean,
the
like,
opportunity
yeah,
to
like,
like
your
do
whole-
a new one, and like do it better. So then, like in my mind, I was like, meaty schmeaty. Like, who cares? You know, I'm like, look at this prize.
Right.
And so now, like, having the old one come back out, I'm like, oh, okay. It doesn't just go away, huh? But yeah, I don't just get to, like, put that to bed. But I'm glad, at the very least, that we got to, like, there was no, like, copy editor. Like, God bless the indie presses, but, like, there was nobody fixing my fucking typos and making my commas, semicolons, or whatever. So those things are all fixed. So I guess like it was worth it to do that. But like I also had to record an audiobook, which I didn't do the first time. And like reading it was like real painful.
Yeah, that's tough. You're reading like a past version of yourself.
Yeah. I was like, who? And like, especially when you write about like people you've dated and stuff, it's like, man, I can't believe I was so bent out of shape about this idiot, and now I have to read about it, and then I have to know that people are listening to me read about it. It was I don't feel bad for me, but it was a lot. Yeah. It was a lot.
But you know people are reading it and taking something from that.
I hope.
You know they are.
I hope. Or they're mocking me, which
They
also
are not.
is fine.
Yeah, everyone filed in here to mock you tonight.
Not tonight, but
We're gonna stop talking and they're all gonna yell.
They're gonna read that old shit and be like, you got broke up with and you didn't take a shower. So, you know, there are a few people will.
Maybe a few arm crossers. What's going on? Okay, something I realized, because I just got the new edition today. Mm-hmm. Something I realized that we didn't talk about with the old edition. I can't even like remember all the recipes. Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
So the first go round, it wasn't even my idea to do it. They were like, you should put some recipes in there since it's called Meaty. And I was like, a little too on the nose. But I did it. And then they put them all in at the end where like no one cares. So that was one thing I did get to change is I was like, Maria decided that we should like group them and that I would write all new recipes, which I did. And those are things like I cook for real. Especially, I don't know if you have read it yet, but there's a whole section on like food to eat when you have diarrhea, and those are from my kitchen. Just later, I might float a cookbook idea.
I mean, you should, because and just the way you write about cooking is so on my level. Yeah. I'm like, what am I do need to lift it and just see. It's so just like
I like to cook. So I started cooking because like I wanted to feel like an impressive person to date. You know, I wanted to be like, look at this quality that I have that will make my flaws pale in comparison. So I started cooking to that's why we do everything.
The blog and the book and
it's all rooted in like trying to convince someone to love me. So, but recipes are like, they don't talk about making things in an accessible way.
No, you have to like look up what the thing they're telling you to do is. You have to have like another like plain man's like whatever.
I'm like, why don't they ever say this should look like dirt? And it's okay. It's okay if it looks like dirt. These should be mushy. It's okay if they're mushy. So that's my whole thing.
The next one should be mushy. Meaty and mushy.
Meaty and mushy. Thank you. It also fits many things. So anyway, I was like, I'll write these accessible recipes for people who are like me, and then that's what I did. So there are new recipes, guys. If you ever wanted to know like how to make chicken soup if you have to shit, chicken soup while wearing a diaper, I wrote that recipe for you.
I want to know. I want to know that.
It's in there.
All right, I have it. Okay, now the question you revealed that I told you I was going to ask you all about your writing process. So I'm curious because I'm like embarking on, Sam has been someone, we like talk business and then I'm like, okay, here's my shit I need to know from you. I'm embarking on like writing essays and Sam is like my go-to informant.
Is this your first announcement?
It's not an announcement. I'm just experimenting in the essay format, Sam.
Right.
For fun only.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sam.
To hone your skills.
Yeah, just
I know.
on the weekends.
Everybody dabbles in
early
essay
morning.
writing. I got it.
It's a hobby. But Sam is the one I sort of ask about, like the process. You know, I'm so curious about anyone's craft and their process, and like, do you wake up early? Do you work at night? Music.
Yes.
I know. I just learned your music thing. Okay, so share.
Okay, so I feel like when you think of like the writing process, like you're expecting to hear some like magical, like clean white room with like tea on the desk. I write usually at night because I like for it to be quiet in the house, only because my desk is in the corner and I get like jumpy if I feel like somebody's gonna walk up behind me. I have a lot of anxiety issues. So I like for it to be quiet. I like to write at night. And my very sad key to all of my work is that I listen to one song on repeat over and over for each piece.
So you just
and
told me
it's
this.
always a sad song.
So how long do you think you're listening to this song for?
Hours.
And it's like, are you ever there and you're like, I gotta get out of here. This song is. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, how is anyone
I
else?
listen to them on earphones.
Okay.
I have noise
I just
canceling
interpreted that
headphones.
you have headphones on, and I was like, that seems crazy. You make everyone else wear headphones?
No, it's me.
Yeah,
I listen to headphones.
that makes more
I put
sense.
headphones on and I listen to the same song over and over, like for each essay.
Even
Maybe
if
I'll make
it's
a playlist of my like sad writing.
You should.
Music.
The one you sent me was the National.
So yeah, so like I listen to like death music. I think it's called About Today by The National. That's a sad fucking song. And I just listen to it over and over until like the words like blend together. I just need something to block out the noise. And if the songs switch, then I'm like, oh, what's this? Or, oh, I'm gonna skip that. So I pick one good one and just listen to it over and over for each
even
essay.
if it's an essay that's making you laugh.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But happy songs are too distracting.
Yeah, they are.
Like if a jam comes on, then I'm gonna stop and
You gotta
like
dance.
jam.
You don't want to jam.
No, I don't want to
No
jam.
jams.
I gotta write.
No jams. Noted. Okay. Great.
That doesn't help anyone, I'm sure.
No,
All
it's
these
just
burgeoning
interesting.
writers are like, fuck, no.
Do you, like-
not doing that?
Can you just sit and you're like, I'm gonna do this piece and I'm gonna finish this piece, and that's it? Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, me too. I'm just checking.
But understand that I usually am like butting right up against the deadline.
No. Yeah, I'm not
I do
up against a
not-
deadline.
I don't write anything. I never turn anything in. And the editor's like, wow, I have a whole week or two to pour over this thing. I'm always like 11:59, the day she asked for it. I'm like, oh, sorry, my power was out. And then I send it. Sorry, you have to spend the next 24 hours staring at this thing trying to get it done on time because you have a real deadline. But yeah, no.
Okay. My next question.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a question about writing vulnerably.
Okay.
Yeah. You write so honestly in all of it, in the books, in the blog. Yeah, like, can you talk about that? Because
Yeah.
it's intense. It's very scary, but also I think that's why everyone is in here, because we all relate to your writing so much, and yeah.
Okay. So this isn't like a nice answer, but it's real. I have a lot of freedom because my parents are dead, and there's no one who says no. Like, there's literally no one who's gonna call me and be like, you've brought shame to the family crest or whatever. So, like, that's why I killed them, so I could, like, have this.
That's the new essay in the new edition.
How I murdered my loving parents. But no, like, once they were out of the way, it was like, well, who's gonna say no, right? Like, nobody's gonna be, like, ashamed. So that's part of it. But another thing is, like, if I'm writing about myself, and unless I'm a hermit and I never do shit like this, I never talk to anyone I don't already know, it's hard to, like, keep up a front, you know? So if I tell you everything, then that's freeing. You just have it, you know it. I have found that I don't often have to explain things because people, like, you already know. Like, if I go to dinner with somebody who's read my work, but, like, we don't hang out.
You don't talk at all.
Well,
you just can focus on the food.
Well, I don't have to pretend that I'm not going to take a shit, right? Like,
I'm gonna be.
I think
you hang out. Yeah.
The first time I met you, I was like, I'm gonna be in the bathroom for at least 8 minutes, and, like,
I was like,
that's very freeing because you know what you're dealing with. I also think, like, if you have a lot of problems and you put them out there, at least I have found that, like, a lot of people have the same problems or similar problems. The last time I was in New York, this is my favorite story. The last time I was in New York, this woman comes up to the table when I was signing, and she, like, had tears in her eyes, and I was like, oh no. I thought, I mean, I'm ready for it. People cry on me all the time. I'm into it. And so I was, like, bracing myself for her to be like, I just got dumped. But this lady comes up and she was like, I have an irritable bowel support group with me. And she brings up all these diarrhea ladies. And, like,
I'm sure they want to be. They like to be referred.
They
to
wanted
that.
me in their coven.
Yeah.
They were like, and, like, she was like, no one writes about this. And, like, so you never know, like, who's out there reading your thing being like, man, I'm going to go out in my Depends today and not feel sad because I know that bitch is somewhere in her Depends. So
I think people feel like they're being, like, not, the word isn't, like, validate. Yeah, kind of. Where they're reading it and they're like, "That's me." Like, no one's writing about
it.
Yeah.
And I think I have had enough response, like, from all kinds of people, right? Men, women, every gender in between, every health ailment, every sort of mental illness. People are just like, "Thanks for writing about that." Like, thanks for also, like, not to be your grandma, but we live in a time where, like, I mean, Instagram is rough. It's rough on me, too, where you, like, look at people's lives and you're like, the fuck am I doing? Like, look at their apartment, look at their this, look at their that. And I think it's, like, nice for people to be like, here's a person who is talking about, like, I'm actively sweating right now. I'm also wearing, holding myself in underneath. Like, people want to know that, like, other people are out there doing that too. And it doesn't serve me to, like, not tell, because then I gotta, like, lie. Like, if I meet people, then I have to, like, keep up a perfect front. And this way I don't. I can be like, yeah, I told you how I looked. You know what I mean? It's not a surprise. I don't have to come out with, like, half of my body behind a scrim because you know what I mean? Like, you know what you're getting. So it's very freeing to be vulnerable, at least for me. I understand, though, that not everybody can, but I feel like I can.
No, I mean,
so
I think
do.
it's so inspiring. I think everyone, all these people that are about to mock you, I think they all feel the same way.
There's probably someone who, I mean, there have been people who, like, message me because they're horrified too.
I'm sure. Then those people, you know, can sit whatever and type away.
Yeah, I'm like, well, have fun in your perfect life, Charles. But
yeah, fuck you, Charles.
For the most part.
All right, well, this is a selfish question. I'll ask you this over and over while we do the show, but you know, this is like the next incarnation of Meaty, but then like hopefully we'll get to make this like other incarnation of Meaty that's drawing from this and other stuff. But I mean, what ultimately do you want people to take away from the book and the show? And I don't know, like what's your ultimate goal for me to know to help you do it?
So my frustrating answer is that I'm a person who does not have many goals. I just don't, man. I don't. I aim real low. And any success I've had is because people have sort of cajoled me into wanting more for myself. That said, I would really like, especially with the show, I would really just like to have like fat, queer, brown, all shades of browns, all kinds of genders represented on a show that's like funny, not tragic. Can we have some disabled people on TV, some people shitting their pants on TV, and just like, so I don't consider myself like a woke person because I feel like that takes a lot of work and thinking that I'm not gonna do. I try not to like step on anybody's toes, you know, and like I don't say wild shit, but like, you know, I just wanna like get some people on TV that we don't see on TV. And I also like, I don't know that I've ever said this to you before, but it'd be nice to like get some people paid who don't get paid, right? You know, like get some fucking directors and writers and, you know, like I want to look around a table of like people you don't see in Hollywood around those tables and know that like we got them a check. Yeah. So
I love that.
I could like do that would be good.
I think we can do that.
Yeah. That's like my like small goal. My big goal is to fucking win an Emmy and like get on the Emmy stage and say
I don't know if I can help you with that goal,
to a few people.
but I'll try.
I just want to like win an Emmy and be like, Steve, or whoever, you know, like just whoever, and be like, remember how you dumped me?
You're gonna definitely be like, the music will come up and Sam will be like, and also Mark and Charles, you trolling me online.
That dude who wrote me an email after my New York Times piece.
I'll be like yanking you off.
That's to like Sandman me off that stage, like somebody's gonna come out with a hook. And no, but for real, I just want to like make a fun thing that does some things that we aren't already seeing. Like we have like pitched the show and stuff. And I remember when we went, can I say where we went the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we were in the Netflix waiting room.
Oh, you mean when we went to pitch it?
Yeah. When we were in the Netflix waiting room and like, they, you know, they look like there were a group of guys like rehearsing.
Oh, that one. And we were like, what?
Their shtick. And they just look like every dude you've ever seen pitching a show. And I'm like, that's cool, man. But then they probably bought their shit. They didn't buy ours.
They didn't buy ours.
But like, you just get some people who don't look like that into some of these rooms.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the first tiny goal on your list.
And then I'd like to immediately retire.
Okay.
We don't need to do this for a long time. Like, few seasons.
Yeah.
And then I just
get out before. We want to do like British style.
Yeah, do a few seasons, then like relax.
I'll tell them that. I'll say Sam is only in when she wants British. She wants in for a couple years and she wants out.
Yeah.
Before and
then I just want to be the person who's like, oh yeah, I have that guy's email, and you go make your thing while I relax and watch it.
That sounds good.
Little goals. Tiny goals.
5 more minutes. Wow.
Make them count.
Okay, Sam. Well, okay. This just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're doing the book reviews.
Oh, that's the hardest fucking thing I've ever done in my
Yeah,
life.
you read like a maniac.
It is so hard. I give them a list of books that I want to read that I think I like.
Cool, okay.
Then they have a list of books that like either like publicists are really pushing or there's like a lot of push for those books.
Everything's pushed.
Yeah. Then they push those lists together and they were sending me like 6 books a month, which, fuck. So.
That's like, I usually get through like 5 or like
Guys,
5 to
please
7.
get a subscription to that shit. It is the hardest thing
That
I've
is
ever
so
done.
much.
Yeah. And so I would read like 6 books and then write just like 70 words. And in those 70 words, I had to get the plot and like a blurby thing about it's hard.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be easy. I thought, because you guys read a lot, right? So you think like, I read something, I can write about it. No, you can't. It's hard.
You're basically writing like the back cover of every book.
Just know that when you're seeing those little clips from me, I have like agonized. My own writing, I'm just like, but like those reviews, I'm like.
But that's kind of good. That's nice to know that when we go to read reviews, that the person reading them is like, it's kind of been difficult. Like, you like, yeah.
It's taxing. But the worst part is like, if I hate it, I can't be like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I tried to sneak the word challenging in once, and they were like, yeah, right.
No.
We challenge you to keep this job because it's so hard. I signed a 2-year contract, you guys. I'm like 8 months in. I'm gonna die. It's really hard. Every time like a FedEx box with like 9 books in it shows up, I'm just like, I'm gonna kill myself. It's hard. It's hard.
Well,
So I'm doing that.
you're doing that.
That's what
Sounds
I'm doing.
great.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So, and then we're going to get back into it after this tour. And then, you're busy, but
Yeah.
do you have any of like...
I've said that I've sold another collection.
this is what I'm leading to.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's gonna come out, but you have to wait. It's gonna come out in 2020.
You think
guys.
we're still going to be good? You think we'll be okay?
I have to do stuff to write about.
Yeah, you got to do some stuff.
Yeah, like if I wrote it right now, it would just be about like
Book tour.
Yeah, but this book tour, the Marie Claire review.
You could write one about the Marie. We just mined some good stuff. 3rd book, mushy. Note it, mark it down.
Yeah. I told Maria today that I wanted to call it. We'll crowdsource it. We'll see if this works. I wanted to call it "Dying is Fine." They like it. They like it.
Okay.
They like it.
It makes me sad,
But I don't know.
okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Sam, congrats on this latest edition.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. You're the greatest. You're the best.
They're the greatest. They're the best. They are Abbi Jacobson and Samantha Irby.
Big, big thanks again to Books Are Magic for allowing us to record and release this talk. Listeners, if you're located here in New York, 225 Smith Street. That's Books Are Magic at 225 Smith Street in Cobble Hill. And if you're not, you can order Meaty and Abbi's upcoming book from booksaremagic.net.
Keep it local, people. Keep it local.
Unless you're somewhere else, then keep it small business.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to head over to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever fine independent podcasts are served and subscribe.
Subscribe, and while you're in our glorious archives, you will find a podcast with Meaty's head writer, Jesse Klein, in conversation with Aidy Bryant. It's a winner. Just check it out. And while you're doing awesome Talkhouse stuff on the internet, because you know that you spend at least half of the day doing that, go hit us up on Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram.
or YouTube, where we have full video episodes that we recorded live at the Sonos store in New York.
And of course, talkhouse.com for your daily essays and video essays and podcasts and all the awesomeness that we have there on the regular.
Get your fix. Today's episode was recorded and co-produced by Mark Yoshizumi.
The magic man himself.
Indeed.
And of course, we'll catch you soon. Maybe next time?
Maybe next time.
Definitely next time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Poop jokes.
Poop jokes.